What if the world's most transformative events were manipulated by mysterious forces lurking behind the veil? Prepare for a mind-bending exploration of the book Freemasonry and Judaism, authored by Vicomte Leon de Ponsonby and unveiled to the world in 1929. This enthralling masterpiece reveals the clandestine roles Freemasonry and global Judaism played in orchestrating the revolutionary movements that swept across the 18th, 19th, and 20th centuries. Journey with us as we uncover the enigmatic origins and clandestine influences that forged modern Freemasonry and history as we know it. Prepare to embark on a spellbinding journey into the secret world of history's hidden architects. Before we dive into it, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Modern Freemasonry, having evolved from the medieval trade guilds of stonemasons, is now as much a product of mergers and influences of various esoteric traditions, such as the Rosicrucians, Hermeticists, Kabbalists, Neoplatonists, and Jesuits. The mysticism and social ideology of modern Freemasonry is a continuation of the Hermeticism and Kabbalism that drove the great Western humanist movements, the Renaissance and Enlightenment. The globalist, transhumanist and postmodern movements of today are the direct descendants of this original Freemasonic school of thought, as are the organizations and secret societies which continue to promote them. One of the most well-known of those secret societies was the Illuminati. The Bavarian Illuminati, founded in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt, was a secret society that grew out of the esoteric traditions of the Renaissance, including Hermeticism, Kabbalism, and Rosicrucianism. The Illuminati sought to use Freemasonry, an already established and influential network, as a means to achieve its political and social goals. Weishaupt, a former Jesuit, believed that the existing power structures, both religious and political, were corrupt and oppressive. The Illuminati aimed to establish a new world order, overthrowing monarchies and religious institutions to create a world governed by reason, science, and Enlightenment principles. To achieve these goals, the Illuminati infiltrated Freemasonry, using Masonic lodges as a cover for their activities. Members of the Illuminati were placed in key positions within these lodges, helping to spread their revolutionary ideas and influence society at large. The Illuminati also actively recruited influential figures, such as politicians, intellectuals, and artists, who could help promote their ideals. The ultimate goal of the Bavarian Illuminati was to create a global utopian society free from tyranny and superstition. They believed that through education, reason, and the abolition of traditional power structures, humanity could achieve its full potential and live in harmony. At least this was the marketing line. In reality, this great utopia would be ruled by an aristocracy of philosopher kings, in the model of Plato's Republic. A small cadre of illumined elites would rule over layered castes of the progressively more profane. The model for this planned society is most famously demonstrated in the pyramid, found throughout occult and Masonic symbolism, and displayed prominently on the back side of the US dollar bill along with a motto that translates from Latin as, "A New Order of the Ages," or "A New World Order." However, the Illuminati faced numerous challenges in their quest for power. In 1784, the Bavarian government banned all secret societies, including the Illuminati, forcing the organization to go underground. The Illuminati's influence would continue to be felt, though, as Ponsonby argues that they played a leading role in the French Revolution and other revolutionary movements that followed, primarily through Freemasonry and related secret societies. In the centuries since their inception, the Bavarian Illuminati has become a symbol of conspiracy and intrigue, with many attributing various global events and power struggles to their hidden influence. While it is difficult to determine the extent of their impact, the story of the Illuminati serves as a fascinating example of how esoteric ideas and secret societies have shaped the course of history. It also can't be forgotten that whether the Illuminati still exists today, the institution of Freemasonry, which it seeded with its ideals and aspirations, is alive and well. The French Revolution, one of the most transformative events in history, serves as a prime example of the pervasive influence of the Illuminati, working through the Freemasonic lodges to spread their revolutionary ideas. Once they infiltrated the lodges, the Illuminati used the French Revolution to disseminate their principles and undermine the power of the monarchy and the church, promoting secularism, equality, and democracy as alternatives. A prime example of Freemasonry's influence in the French Revolution is the Grand Orient de France, one of the country's largest Masonic organizations. Ponson's maintained that this organization played a crucial role in planning and executing the revolution. He underscored that many prominent members of the Grand Orient de France, such as Georges Danton and Maximilien Robespierre, held key positions within the revolutionary government, directly shaping its policies and direction. The involvement of these influential Freemasons demonstrates the significant impact that the organization had on the unfolding of the revolution. The role of the Encyclopedists, a group of French Enlightenment thinkers, serves as another compelling example of the intellectual groundwork laid by Freemasons in the lead-up to the French Revolution. Many of these influential thinkers, such as Denis Diderot, Jean-Le d'Alembert, and Voltaire, were members of the Freemasonry, and their ideas and writings played a crucial role in shaping the revolution's philosophical underpinnings. The Encyclopedists were responsible for creating the Encyclopédie, a massive compilation of human knowledge that aimed to challenge traditional authority and promote rational thought. Their work was highly critical of the Church and the monarchy, and they sought to undermine these institutions' power and influence by advocating for secularism, reason, and scientific inquiry. Their philosophy embraced the ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity, which would later become the rallying cries of the revolution. These principles resonated with the masses, inspiring widespread support for the revolutionary cause and ultimately contributing to the dismantling of the old regime. The Encyclopedists' influence on the French Revolution cannot be overstated. As Freemasons, their involvement in the movement further highlights the close connections between Freemasonry, the Enlightenment, and the revolutionary spirit that would transform France and, eventually, the world. Moreover, the Jacobin Club, one of the most radical political groups during the French Revolution, functioned as a de facto extension of Freemasonry. Many of its members were Freemasons, and its leadership aligned with the Illuminati's goals of dismantling traditional power structures. The Jacobins' policies and decrees were decided upon in European lodges before they ever came into force through the revolutionary institutions of France. They played a significant role in the Reign of Terror and the eventual rise of Napoleon Bonaparte, further highlighting the interconnectedness between the French Revolution, Freemasonry, and the Illuminati. The French Revolution also saw the widespread use of Masonic and Illuminati symbols, such as the all-seeing eye, the pyramid, and the obelisk. These symbols served as a way for the Illuminati to communicate their presence and influence to those in the know, while also demonstrating the revolution's ties to Freemasonry. Ponson's pointed out the adoption of the red Phrygian cap as a symbol of liberty and the use of the Eye of Providence on official documents as examples of this infiltration. The Statue of Liberty, replicated in miniature in Paris, is another fascinating symbolic connection to Freemasonry. Designed by French sculptor Frédéric-Auguste Bartholdi, a Freemason himself, the statue embodies various symbolic elements associated with Freemasonry. One notable aspect of the statue is its torch, which represents enlightenment and the pursuit of knowledge, aligning with the ideals of both Freemasonry and the Illuminati. Additionally, the 7 rays on the statue's crown symbolize the 7 continents and the spreading of liberty across the world, reflecting the Masonic principle of universal brotherhood. Many have even claimed the statue is a depiction of Lucifer, bearing the light of illumination, or the ancient god Mithras, suggesting ties to dark themes in Masonic mysticism. The significant participation of Freemasons in the revolutionary government, like Lafayette, Mirabeau, and Condorcet, further illustrates the Illuminati's role in the French Revolution. Key events like the storming of the Bastille and the tennis court oath were orchestrated by Freemasons to advance their agenda of reshaping society according to their Enlightenment ideals. Lastly, Ponson's highlights the Reign of Terror as a key period during the French Revolution, marked by mass executions and brutal repression, which was approved and supported by Masonic lodges. French historian and Freemason Jean-François Marmontel argued that only a people freed from the constraints of Christian morality could carry out the necessary actions for success in such a revolution. The Terror, which resulted in the execution of thousands of people, including the king and queen, aligned with this brutal Masonic mindset. Masonic lodges, in this context, served as meeting places and hubs for revolutionary ideas, where many of the plans for the Reign of Terror were discussed and approved. Freemasons saw the Reign of Terror as a means to purge society of its old order and create a new one based on their Enlightenment ideals. They believed that the violence and brutality were necessary evils to achieve their ultimate goals. The later Bolshevik Revolution, likewise directed largely by Masons and the other subject of this book, idealized the methods of the Terror and replicated them on a far greater scale. However, the Reign of Terror also created a climate of fear and instability in France. As a result, there was a reactionary backlash against the radicalism of the revolution. This backlash paved the way for the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte, a Freemason himself, who promised to restore order and stability to the country. Napoleon's rise to power marked a new era in French history and demonstrated the continued influence of Freemasonry in shaping the nation's destiny. Napoleon Bonaparte initially served the wider Masonic mission by spreading the ideals of the revolution throughout Europe. Under his rule, various territories saw the implementation of revolutionary principles such as legal equality, merit-based advancement, and religious freedom. Napoleon's military conquests and diplomatic efforts helped expand the influence of these principles across the European continent, furthering the Masonic agenda and sowing the seeds of revolution which would later bear fruit in the mass uprisings of the mid-19th century. However, as Napoleon's ambitions grew, he sought to establish a hereditary monarchy with himself as emperor. This move was at odds with the Masonic principles of equality and democracy, which led to a shift in the relationship between Napoleon and the Freemasons. Fearing the re-establishment of a hierarchical society, Freemasonry eventually turned against Napoleon, working to undermine his rule and ultimately contributing to his downfall. Following Napoleon's fall from power, Freemasonry continued to play a key role in shaping the political landscape of France. The organization was particularly influential in the formation of governments, favoring the Republic as the ideal form of government for them to control. The Republic, with its democratic principles and decentralization of power, allowed Freemasonry to discreetly exert its influence on politics and policymaking without drawing excessive attention. Throughout the various iterations of the French Republic, Freemasonry has remained a powerful and influential force in the country's political landscape. By championing the Republic and advocating for the principles of the Enlightenment, Freemasonry has been able to maintain its role as a key player in shaping the course of French history, even long after the French Revolution and Napoleon's reign. Freemasonry was also central to other revolutions in Europe, such as Portugal, Italy, Turkey, and Austria-Hungary. Their revolutions and ideologies were essentially socialist in nature, as socialism is seen as a means of bringing the masses along on the journey to an ancient, esoterically inspired neo-feudalist New World Order. Moreover, Freemasonry is believed to have played a significant role in propelling the world towards World War I, possibly even instigating it as a means of transforming Europe's social structure and instituting a Masonic order out of chaos. The assassins of Archduke Ferdinand in Sarajevo were Masons who admitted to knowing each other through their involvement in Masonry during their trial. They also had ties to British intelligence. These revelations are little known since the trial in which they surfaced was overshadowed by the war, and such facts don't serve the Masonic agenda. World War I served the stated purposes of Freemasonry by destroying the monarchies of Central Europe and Russia, establishing a socialist government in Russia, and coming close to achieving socialism in Bavaria and Hungary. The Masonic influence behind the First World War was even acknowledged by none other than Erich Ludendorff, commander of German forces, referencing intelligence he had received in that role. While Ponson focuses primarily on what is known as Continental Freemasonry, English Freemasonry is also acknowledged as playing a major role in the transformation of global society. Ponson portrays English Freemasonry as separate from that practiced on the continent, being more tied to occultism and Kabbalah, and culturally less inclined towards radical revolution. However, it is still shown to be intimately connected to the wider Freemasonic cause, as evidenced by the support of the U.S. government to Hungarian Freemasons during that country's failed socialist revolution. The dominance of Masons in the American Revolution and contributions to the French Revolution of American Masons such as Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, and Thomas Paine further demonstrate that there is truly only one Freemasonry. The second half of Ponson's book surveys Judaism and discusses cultural attributes of the diaspora and some formal organization by which Judaism influences and provides the energy behind modern and historical revolutionary movements. that is a story for another time and venue. Freemasonry and Judaism reveals a deliberately concealed and forbidden history where secretive organizations like Freemasonry and global Judaism play significant roles in shaping historical events from the shadows. The book suggests that these organizations have influenced political events and ideologies to further their goals, often driven by their esoteric origins and mysticism. As we conclude this journey, it's important to remember that while this video offers a summary of Ponson's book, it does not claim that every detail is accurate or that these organizations are inherently evil. Instead, it encourages us to approach history with an open and curious mind, recognizing that sometimes, events may be driven by forces that lurk in the shadows. Thank you for joining us on this captivating exploration of Freemasonry and Judaism, Freemasonry's esoteric origins, and its sinister influence on world events. Don't forget to like, share, and follow for more content like this.